being said, I'm going to let Nancy do her spotlight segment and really give us a little bit of how it was after her stroke and recovery, and really what the challenges that she had dealt with and how she dealt with them and how she recovered. So, Nancy, take it away.
Thank you. My name is Nancy Magrini, and I am a stroke survivor. For those of you who are not really that in tune to what a stroke is, it is really a loss of blood to the brain. It can be a ruptured blood vessel. About 800,000 people a year have a stroke.
Oh, my gosh.
And every 40 seconds, someone has a stroke.
Wow.
Whether it be serious, whether it be just a light, form of it. And there's a lot of different symptoms. And I'd like to just kind of go over it briefly so that people kind of understand. So this way, when we do this segment, they'll understand more what we're talking about and how things are. There's really about 10 different symptoms for strokes. Blurred vision, loss of balance, communicating, whether it be speaking or just trying hand motions, weakness, sometimes facial paralysis, severe headaches, loss of understanding. Your senses, your smell, your hearing, your taste can all be affected. Fatigue. The other thing, there's 3 other major players in stroke, and that would be either caused by, like I had said earlier, blood clots, ruptured blood vessels, or a mini stroke, which is a temporary blood clot. There are many different types of therapy, which I'll go into some of what I've gone through. There's physical coordination for your body, there's speech, language. You have psychological, mental stimulation, electrical stimulation, visual, and that's pretty much it as far as that goes. And always just remember FAST, face, arm, speech, and time. Those are the 4 elements that you look for when someone is having a stroke. And as far as preventative, always keep in mind your family history, your diet, your cholesterol, your blood pressure, things like that. And as far as my stroke, again, when I was in therapy, they do many different types of therapy. They did for me because my entire left side was literally dead. Not moving, nothing. I had to learn how to walk again, dress myself. My speech was not impaired at all, thank God. That was really good. And they would take me through therapy where they'd have sand on a table, and I'd have to actually work my fingers in the sand to find the pennies and to actually grab it for your coordination. Because again, when your brain is affected by this, it does affect how you think and how your hands move or your legs move. Whereas on a day-to-day basis, people really don't think about that. They really just go about their day. They don't think, whereas someone with a stroke has to think a little bit on what they're doing, how they're doing it, and put 2 and 2 together to make 4. So that was one thing. The other thing, of course, is learning how to dress yourself again, being able to do a button. Something as simple as that took, quite a while to relearn how to do. Again, walking, another thing. They use step masters, a lot of exercising. Just so much goes into your day. And when I was in the hospital, 3 hours a day, they had therapy for you because they have to get you back to thinking, get your cognitive back. They've got to get it all back together for you so you're able to function again in the world. What else? Well, all I can say is that with the help of God and friends and family, I have survived this, and I will continue to pay it forward to help others so that they understand. And, I thank the American Heart, the American Stroke Association. I thank ReneMarie for helping me and letting me be a part of this, because I think it's a wonderful journey. And, again, I'm very proud to be on your team to work and do this with you.
Thank you.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
Mini strokes, what are those?
That's a temporary blood loss. It's a very quick, it can be seconds, that's all it is, and sometimes you don't even realize that you're having it. It happens. Sometimes you might feel a little off, like I said, that whole loss of balance or a little fatigue. It might last for a couple of seconds and then it disappears. It doesn't give it a permanent, like what I have and what ReneMarie has, where there are permanent things that it disappears. But what you have to be careful of is If you're having mini strokes, that can lead up to a major stroke, full-blown stroke.
That's why it's so important to go for constant checkups.
Yes.
And because, sometimes we just think we're tired and just think, it's normal. And you just, and in life nowadays, we all have so much going on, and we really don't take the time to take care of ourselves, and we really don't take the time. And you know what I've learned? I really have learned, and I know you'll all agree with me, that part of what's important in healthy lifestyle is rest. Mm-hmm. It really is important. And I actually, most of you know, I just completed the Success Principles, I think that's the name, for Jack Canfield.
Yes, congratulations.
And thank you, yeah.
What is your new title?
I don't know. I've graduated. No. I just completed successfully completed the Success Principles. I spoke about it on the show a few weeks ago that Wade was our leader, and he really did teach us how to be successful, but be successful in overall lifestyle. It really does. And why I said that is because in one of Jack's piece of information that you need to schedule is rest. Yes. Rest, play, work. It all ties together to make sure that you live a wonderful, healthy lifestyle. And really, this is something I've learned, that when you do balance your life, it helps for everything to come to fruition faster.
Yes.
Rather than, you keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, but you don't let anything come into your life. You keep pushing outwards, but you don't let anything come in. So kind of when you're at meditation or you're resting, you're kind of like letting things transpire in your life. It's almost like planting the rose, the seed, and watering it, and then you have to wait for it to blossom, right?
Absolutely.
That's a very good analogy.
Yeah.
That was God. Thank you. But it is true. It is true.
Rest is very important, and when your body is telling you something, listen to it.
Right.
Listen to what your body is telling
right.
you. Even if you're just tired, sit down, rest for a few minutes.
Yeah.
Again, fatigue, sit, rest.
Right.
It's like the story I just told you a few minutes ago before the show, where somebody was telling my husband today that he was typing on the computer. His hand felt tired and numb, and then he got up, thought he would shake it out, but it went up into his arm, and then his face started to feel numb, and it was a mini stroke, and his wife said, "Get in the car, we're going to the hospital."
That was the best
You
thing
have
to
to listen.
Yeah.
You have to listen.
You have to listen.
What interests me is, and I still have this problem, and I probably should go for therapy. I have problems buttoning buttons. I can't button buttons with this hand.
Yeah,
I use my left hand to button
everything has
buttons.
to be snaps.
And then that really probably comes from me being too busy, because it would take me 10 minutes to button this one button. So for me to take, let's see, it would take me an hour and a half to button all these. But truly, but in all honesty, I really should take the time to practice it and do it every day, whether it's one button, just because. And I know, and I'm sure you all agree, that it's really a mindset thing.
It is. It's the coordination, the eye-hand coordination. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm. Right. But and further than that, by training my mind that I can do it.
Right. And you have to be able to feel the button too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So feeling
Can
has
you
to
feel?
enter
Yeah,
into
I can
too.
feel them. I can feel them. So I am gonna. That is one thing that I'm gonna start doing is, I really have to go for something on my arm. And actually, Eileen, who was Garrett's mom, she said there's a new something that's updated that really does
To stretch it out?
No, it actually. What does it do? It actually connects. It connects the nerves that aren't connected anymore, or something like that. Yes, So I'm gonna call her and ask her for that information. And I actually know that I need to do it on my own as well. I need to. Yeah. It's not like I can go there and they'll do it, and all of a sudden it's going to be magic.
No, you have to keep.
I have to make it a principle, a practice every day to make it work. So.
Right.
I don't know.
Got to work at it.
Nancy, we were talking, and Bobby and Judy don't know this, but before we were talking about the dating scene.
Yes.
And so we have a question for you. I'm going to let Nancy ask it, but we want you to listen to the question and then give us your feedback, because we're gonna schedule a date. We're going to schedule a date where we're going to talk about this, because it really is important, because we're no different than anyone else. We're no different than anyone that has had, anyone. We're no different. Nobody is different than anybody. Nobody is better than anybody. Nobody is above anybody in my world. I don't know about anybody else's.
Okay.
I agree with that.
Bobby and I have had that discussion before.
And we need to go to break?
Yes. Hang on one second, though. But because I want Nancy to ask this question so that we could make the announcement. And like I said, as she asks the questions, please think about it and write it down. And you could Facebook us, you could tweet us. Tweet me at ReneMarie777 or ReneMarie Testa Adams on Facebook, and you can find my information all over the place. So just Google it. And so here we go. Nancy, ask the question.
Okay. Someone who has had a stroke, or you've had some type of an illness or whatever, and out in the dating world, how do people perceive you, the other partner? I'm very interested, and so is ReneMarie, both of us, to find out what trials and tribulations you've gone through dating. Have people pushed you to the side because they found out you're a stroke survivor, or that you've had cancer, or whatever the case might be. But we're very interested to hear your comments, your thoughts, your stories, which I will also share with you as well, mine, on this topic, because being out in the dating world and having a disease that we have, people act very different sometimes. You'd be very, very surprised. So we're very interested in your comments and your stories.
And it's funny, but on that show we'll talk about what's happened to me and what's happened to Nancy.
Yes.
And congratulations to Nancy. She doesn't have to deal with that anymore. She's getting married.
Yeah.
Bobby, take us to break. Go ahead.
Okay, we're going to go to break, and we'll be right back.
Oh, my